family cat's strange behavior exposed a terrifying truth. Someone had been living in their home, watching them sleep. I was only 4 years old when this happened, but I remember every detail like it was yesterday. My parents had just split up, and I was living with my mom in a small 2-bedroom apartment on the ground floor. Even though I had my own room, I always crawled into bed with her. Something about sleeping alone felt wrong back then. Maybe kids can sense danger better than adults think. Our bedrooms sat at the end of a long, dark hallway, facing each other like two watching eyes. It was the middle of summer, sticky and hot, so Mom always kept her bedroom window cracked open. The window sat right behind her bed, above the headboard. Fresh air was worth the risk, she said, or so she thought. That night started like any other. I fell asleep curled up next to Mom, our tabby cat, Mr. Whiskers, purring between us like he always did. But something woke me up around 2 a.m. The room felt different, wrong. I sat up in the darkness and saw Mr. Whiskers sitting perfectly still in the doorway. His silhouette was frozen against the dim hallway light, and his eyes were fixed on something I couldn't see. This was weird. Mr. Whiskers never left our bed at night. Never. As I watched, he walked slowly into my bedroom across the hall. Then, he did something that made my blood turn cold. He meowed. Not his usual soft purr, but a sharp, warning sound that seemed to echo in the silence. I turned to shake Mom awake. "Mom, something's wrong with Mr. Whiskers," I whispered. She stirred and mumbled, "What's wrong, baby?" It took maybe 3 or 4 seconds for her to fully wake up, but when we both looked back toward the doorway, my heart stopped. A man stood in the frame of my bedroom door, a real man, not a shadow or a dream. He was tall and thin, and he was moving, walking out of my room like he owned the place, like he had every right to be there. I don't know how Mom moved so fast. One second I was sitting in bed, frozen with fear. The next, she had scooped me up and was throwing me out the window behind us. The screen tore as I tumbled onto the grass below. It was only a 3-foot drop, but it felt like flying. Mom landed beside me a second later, and we both started screaming. Our voices cut through the summer night like sirens. A neighbor's light flicked on, then another. Someone called 911. The police came fast, but they were too late. The man was gone. They searched every inch of our apartment, looking for signs of how he got in. Every window was still locked, every door was secure, except one. The front door was unlocked. Mom's face went white.
"I locked it. I always lock it. The deadbolt and the chain. I checked it twice."
But there was no sign of forced entry. No broken locks, no scratches on the door frame. Nothing. The police wrote it down as a possible intruder who escaped through the front door. Case closed. Kwai might have accepted that explanation, if not for what happened a week later. Mom was cleaning the kitchen when she opened the water heater closet. She never opened that closet. There was no reason to. But that day, something made her look. Inside, wedged behind the water heater, was a spiral notebook. The pages were filled with names, written in careful handwriting. Our names, the neighbors' names, people from the apartment complex. Below the names were drawings, stick figures of people sleeping, people eating, people watching TV. There were other things too. A pair of work gloves, empty gum wrappers, a small flashlight. And at the very back, a blanket. Someone had been living in our closet. The police came back, but there wasn't much they could do. They took the notebook and the evidence, but the man was long gone. They told us what we already knew, but didn't want to believe. He had been watching us, learning our routines, studying when we went to bed, when we woke up, and when we left the apartment. He knew Mom always left the window open. He knew I slept in her bed. He knew our cat's habits, but he didn't know that cats can sense things humans can't. Mr. Whiskers had been trying to warn us. His strange behavior, his unusual meowing, and his trip to my empty bedroom, he was telling us someone was there, someone who didn't belong. I'm older now, but I still think about that night. How long had he been living in our closet? How many times had he watched us sleep? What was he planning to do? The police said we were lucky. If Mom hadn't thrown me out that window, if we hadn't screamed for help, if our cat hadn't given us those precious few seconds of warning. They didn't finish the sentence. They didn't have to. Sometimes I wonder if Mr. Whiskers is still out there somewhere, keeping other families safe. And sometimes late at night, I still check my closets, just in case. Because once you know that monsters are real, and they can pick locks, and they can hide in plain sight, you never really feel safe again.